buses, you published nothing significant for 4 years, but mostly in the death group of the period. You published 2 pamphlets in the same month. I know it's a freebie. So huge thanks to Pigeon Press, who begin with a poet who is still changing poems this week. Nightmare to work with. So, do I actually need a mic? Can you hear me? Yes. So I do my best year 9 bottom set English teacher voice. We'll go with that, shall we? Okay, so 2 pamphlets, just this side of Seaworthy, which is, I suppose, poems about aging, because you may have noticed I am an elder.
That was meant to laugh.
And the second pamphlet, Rocks, Paper, Scissors, is a taster of the PhD collection, which will be a big collection of poems next year, all 70 of them. You have 15 of them now. So, I haven't quite said what I was going to read, so I may just be busking a bit. Sorry, when you get older, you spend your whole life taking your glasses on and off. So I can either see print or I can see you, but not both simultaneously. And I'm very aware that many people in this room are very young. However, you will get old. So I'd start with a memory poem from the 1980s. Wednesday night is Women's Night. First Wednesday of the month is the Women's Bar. Space given up grudgingly by the boys, but we grab it anyway. Dizzy from dancing on the silence of Greenham and sisters are doing it for themselves, dancing on their own 2 feet and ringing their own bells, and you know. The bouncer, rock solid, dyke, sharp suited, black robe booted, can spot a tourist at 1,000 yards, but somehow makes her body wider than the door. But she also clocks that cluster of girls across the street, opens up her arms and welcomes them in. It's not the Moulin Rouge, it's all we've got. And getting ready takes hours. Clothes strewn across the room, then Sherman shirt, button down Levi jeans and jocks. Despite the blood that stains our socks, come on, Eileen. Oh, I swear at this moment you mean everything. We are undercover agents of chaos, lapel badge, a passport into paradise, or at least an upstairs room in an unpopular pub. Afterwards, at almost dawn, sticky, sweaty, smiling, our real selves spill onto pavements, reluctant to return to that other world where gossip and suspicion cost everything. We wear skirts and shoes that pinch our feet bare, smile at men but not too much, hold each other's hands with the lightest touch, fingers poised to fly apart we are butterflies in hiding. But once a month we dance and kiss cheek to cheek across the floor we made our pride before parade. That was a 1984. People who know me will know that I like dogs and I B like parks. I've got a whole sequence of poems called Dog Park. So there was one about what happens to older people and their dogs. This is Dog Park 3. At 6 a.m. to avoid the heat. No, wrong poem. Horribly wrong. Dog Park 1. Consummate professional. The morning after that one-way visit to the vet, he woke up. The absence of a paw pressing on his palm, as brutal as a long abandoned 6 a.m. alarm, and not knowing what else to do, he came here anyway. Sat on his usual bench but bereft. The 7:30 a.m. dog walking crew saw the shaking he made was wrong defined by absence. They gathered in a gentle group, faces bent towards his grief, his tears, trying not to be aware of ticking time routines disrupted put on hold today. And 1 month later, and mindful of his daughter's well-meaning advice, too old to handle another dog dad, he still comes here every morning. A pocket full of treats, welcomes wet noses snuffling in the lining of his jacket. His hands find comfort in the wiry fur, familiarity of another small brown dog, muscle memory of where tail begins and ears end. I'll do one other poem about age and aging. When you are a young female person, people talk a lot about when you have your first period. People hardly talk about when you have your last period. So this is the last period, full stop. I remember perfectly my first period, aged 10 years and 10 months. Bustled by my mother to the chemist shop, the necessary bundle into layers of brown paper. A woman now, my mother said. It seemed unlikely, but I went with it, the flow. Couldn't wait to ask the other girls, have you started yet? But this last is sneaky. False starts and stops and stuttering, the box is no longer necessary on the bathroom shelf, untouched for months. The blue packaging sun-faded, content out, handed out to other younger women. And if I'd known you'd be the last, maybe I'd have marked the day with cakes and cards and celebrations. Can't wait to ask the other girls. Have you finished yet? There are less jokes in this one. For the last 3.5 years, I've been working with people who've experienced trauma. I said to them, tell me about your life. And then I work with them collaboratively to create poetry. And I'm incredibly indebted to the people who talk to me about their lives. These poems are always dedicated to those people. And because these are people living with trauma, some of these poems are quite difficult. So I give a kind of general content warning. They are grown-up poems for grown-up people. So, I'm going to start with brick dust. You tell me about the brick fields, where red dust earth and red brick dust is impossible to separate, and paint little boys in red dust too, little boys who work for food. And you tell me what happens to little boys who work for food. And now I can't unknow that. You tell me about the onion factory, where you peel skins and were in turn unpeeled yourself. As we talk, I'm crying onion tears. And I try to keep the sobs inside and silent, as you two must have done when you were small. You tell me about the coming here, boys packed into rooms too tight to house so many bodies. You sent that hard-earned money home, planned triumphant return, full pockets and a sharp new suit, until one day home was here, but never truly there, and no longer here. You tell me about marriage and love and madness, times when you were racked with shame, and didn't have the words to name the fear in any language but gin or ghosts seemed closest. The boy you used to be still haunted by his broken self. You tell me about love. Your wife become a tree in whose shade you hide, sheltered from a burning sun and then still British rain. Your children's never hungry, safe, you say, and loved. Their lives a world away from red dust, brick dust, onion peeled boys. Sometimes the simplest words are the best. I work with a lot of people who also had intellectual additional needs. And I could have made this poem into poetic language. But she had one adjective, so I've used that. It's called in heaven. In her heaven, she tells me, everything is beautiful. The flowers are beautiful, the grass is beautiful, and when she gets there, she will be beautiful too. In her heaven, she says, there are angels, taller than us and beautiful. Their wings are beautiful. And in her heaven, she is sure the pets will be there waiting, and they will be as beautiful as paintings, and she names them. Casper, Bonnie, Clipper, Shane, and Snowy. Doesn't forget other people's pets. Fidget and Daisy are there as well. And she gives me some description so that I will know them, just in case I make it to her heaven. And after careful conversation, we agree that in her heaven the pets are young again. Their fur is shiny in the sunlight. And then she says in her heaven, she is only 1/10 sad. Just sad enough to see the beauty all around her. It is arrogant to have a favourite poem. Whenever I read that poem, I go, actually, yeah. Well, what have we got then? These are all really miserable. They're all really miserable. Okay. Sanity hearings. The people who don't know, who don't call them But basically, if you are in a psychiatric hospital and haven't chosen to be there, you need to convince some people that you should be allowed out. And I don't know this book, he said it wasn't called Sanity Hearing anymore. This is called Sanity Hearing. It's not called a sanity hearing anymore, but this is what it is. 4 people sit on one side of the table, their faces professionally blank. A chair for you carefully sent in a plastic glass for water, just in case you become distressed. Their smiles slip slightly when you walk in, a pair of hands on your head. Making a statement about sanity, making a statement about the surreal nature of a meeting determined they will let you out of here. And your mother and father sit a little to the side, their presence proves the support network that will keep you up, that will keep you safe. Your mother hides her tears behind the board of tissue. Your father keeps his eyes on the blue-grey carpet tiles. You tell these people, you tell them you are held by God. Held so high that flight becomes conceivable, and as you speak, the forms that fill the boxes tick, notes written in the margins. It does not go well. Later that day, you leave the ward, simply walk away, catch a taxi into town, and a champagne bar sip filled because bubbles taste like freedom. Your parents track you down, less than fuss and drama of a police car, or that ignominious return stuffed into the back seat by a blank-faced copper who won't know what to say. But before you leave, you smile with peace the line that you touched by God again. Some of the people I talked to, their stories made me very angry. This is a poem about me, maybe it's more a poem about me being angry about this collaborator's story. And there's a reference to Ginsberg's Howl. I think it's my generation. And the story felt like, let's see, good stuff happened. That's a good piece called Howl. So, this is not a poem, this is a howl of outrage because I'm all out of rage, beyond rage, and I'm just listening, not living this howl. And when they brought you back to prison during your time on the labour ward, but with no reward, just breasts that won't stop leaking milk, and you slid down the cell wall, made a sound you didn't even recognise as human howl. And I asked, how did you keep on living? Hear the sigh and silence down the line, the memory, story of starving and cutting and pills, and then you say, someone say, what if? What if when they are grown, what if they come to look for you and you are in the cemetery, what if? And so you keep on living, don't want to let them down, howl. I don't tell you much about my daughter's birth. 5 days in a pristine private room surrounded by too many flowers and cards I didn't read, but I swear if anyone had touched their hair on their head, I would have ripped their face off. Mind you, I wasn't wearing handcuffs that makes it easier. So do you want poems about aging and misery or poems about people's miserable lives? Choose. Miserable lives. Excellent. Someone referred to it in academic meeting as being the magpie of misery. Or playing the worst top trump, God don't want me. The first thing you say once we find our rhythm nested between the pauses and the silence and a few false starts, the first thing you say is, lockdown hasn't been so hard. Being locked down, locked in, locked out for years. You tell me about this life lived with the safety of a window pane and nicotine-stained net curtains. We're surprised to find the neighbours are at it too. They're normal, you're normal, it's theirs as well, but you say they're rank beginners. Not unable to see the joy in small, not yet learned to reap the reward of watching one cat cross the road and back again. In your stillness, hands busy with the making of another scheme, roll up mother teaspoon sugars or within reach. Other people's patterns, their reference points are rhythms to your day. Monday's easy, say Jim's good out. Sunday when they wash their cars, harder to get your bearings on Thursday. You tell me about an advert on the telly. Although doesn't know it's Christmas Day until he sees the co-op shut. Could be me, you say, except of course we're going out, which is an excellent act of picture. poem.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do poem commissions. I actually commission to write some poems to bring the paint. But I was commissioned to write a poem for some people who are getting married in their 50s. And they said, we want a poem for our wedding, but we've been around the block a time or two. Can you not make it softly? So, what if love wasn't blind? What if love wasn't blind, but instead possessed the gift of perfect vision 2020, possessed the gift of perfect sight 2020 vision, able to read the very last line on the eye test chart, XOATVHUY. What if love could scale the tower of stories making tales you told to yourself to keep you safe, to spoon you into sleep at night? What if love could storm through walls, the ones you wrapped around a body that could seem so fragile, so liable to hurt, a labour of self-love built brick by brick, and finally found yourself entombed with nowhere out? What if love were glass, a custard factory, boom, and splat? What if love could look beneath the mask you made from scraps and feathers and shards of shattered glass and shattered screens, clasped tight against your face, more armour in your armoury? What if love could see you, truly see you, and yet still choose to stay? What if love were a rhythm, a dance step in the rain, the pounding, the drum thrumming through veins, new music, one beat, but syncopated and always in tune? What if love could run a honeyed tongue against your skin, across the scars you show the others that you hide away, the tattooed history of a life, love's sweet breath makes everything better? What if love were fierce, a bushfire, a bonfire, a blaze, a cleansing and a clearing, creating a path, a space where there's only ever a tangle of briar and thorn and berries before? What if love whispered, lie beside me, bide with me, and build our happy ever after? You can buy these tonight, that would be excellent. Special offer. They are £6 each, but if you buy both, you get them both for a tenner. Is it fair?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Woo!